Hello, hello, hello. Thank you for coming through. I'm not going to be too long because I got some other things that I want to do tonight. And I haven't been live in a minute. It's been a few days. Um, I get my breaks on here for personal issues and business. I take some breaks from here. I enjoy my real life and some things I have to do. So a lot of the times I don't be getting on the app a lot, and that's good. It's good to definitely take breaks. Hey, Katie, how are you? have you been have you been cutting up in the chats lately? You're so funny. Yeah, I've been kind of missing in action on a lot of things, and, and thank God I have. I'm just learning to stay in my own lane and mind my business, Katie. And just do my content if I see fit to do it. Because again, I like to really focus on my real life more than anything. So I go live when I need to, or when I feel like there's a need to go live. It's this story that happened basically, I'm gonna say about 5 minutes away from where I live. It was a situation that happened. This was last Tuesday when I was at work. It was actually at 1 p.m. So that's like my lunch period. It was a situation that happened between two, uh, African American females that live in the Oak Cliff area. And this is what I'm saying when I write the title, when I type the title, not every battle is meant for you to fight. That goes for me too. A lot of the times we engage with people, and some people are unhinged. Some people I always talk about are mentally ill, or they're dealing with some type of issue that causes them to be unhinged, that causes them to do things that later they might regret. And this is why you have to be very careful on your responses, how you respond to certain things. It's okay, when you online, you can say whatever you want to say to people and not be held responsible for it because you're online. Nobody, for the most part, most people are not going to come. Hey, big cap. Hey, team. Easy. Most people on the internet ain't going to try to come and find you, but some of them will. You know what I'm saying? So you definitely need to, since you don't know who is who and who will come and find you, you definitely need to learn to shut up sometimes, or stop tippity typing a bunch of stuff that you're not going to make up for your promise. So a lot of times we say things online because it's safe. Hey, Big Red, how are you? We say things online. We big bad, we the baddest online, but when it comes to real life and how our responses is, it's gonna be probably totally different for the most part, because we understand we hey chill, we can't fight everybody, we can't shoot everybody. Like, it's gonna be a time where you're gonna meet your match. And some people are more crazier than you think. You know what I'm saying? And I wanted to show you guys the story. Probably, like I said, this is 5 minutes away from where I live, so this is not far from me at all. Actually, I go to this PetSmart sometimes to get some food for my. I have a little small animal, and I go and get food for my little animal, and I go to that PetSmart, and so this is where this tragedy happened, where this PetSmart is the one that I uh, go to. And it's a story I'm gonna show you. It's on Channel 4 and Channel 4 News, Dallas News. And I wanted to show this to you. Now I don't know neither of these young ladies. One is 41. I think the other one's 20 years old. But this is what I'm telling you. Not every hey R&B, not every battle is meant to be fought. You know what I'm saying? But I understand you're gonna have to take up for yourself. Don't get me wrong. But how can a simple act of kindness that somebody does for somebody just go all the way left? Hey, 309. Now, the fact is, the young lady, which was 41 years old, tried to open the door for someone. I guess that person was coming out or coming in the store while they were coming out. And she opened the door for the young lady. The young lady just walked through the door. She didn't think nothing about it, you know. And most of the time, some people are not conscious and some people just don't care. A lot of times people mind be on something totally different and they're not even thinking about saying thank you. But one simple act of kindness got this woman in a situation, or she got her mouth got her in a situation that she had unfortunately lost her life. And I'm not blaming this young lady. Her name is Cecilia Simpson. I'm not blaming her at all. I think what the young lady did to her was senseless. It was evil, and it was unwarranted. But you don't know where people are mentally. And I say this all the time. Hey, Miss V, when people want to talk about people and do things to people, you don't know how far people are from just jumping off the cliff or going and trying to find you and do something to you. People are going around here with chips on their shoulder. They have a chip on their shoulder. They're mad at the world. They feel like life is unfair. They may can't pay their bills. They may be one check from being on the street. So people are going through different stressors in their lives, and then they take it out on other people. So that's why I say you got to be careful on who you how you interact with certain people, because you just never know when a person snaps, they snap and they forget all sense. They have no sense, no common sense. It's all going, no logic. And I wanted to share this with you guys. Um, like I said, this was just a few minutes away from where I live, and this is a very senseless situation. I'm gonna play this for you.
A simple act of kindness, holding a door open for a stranger, but it ended in heartbreak outside of a North Texas pet store. Dallas police say Cecilia Simpson was gunned down this past Tuesday after confronting another woman for not saying thank you. Happened in the 3500 block of West Wheatland in southeast Oak Cliff. That brief encounter spiraled into an argument, a chase into the store, and ultimately a deadly shooting in the parking lot.
So what happened was they first met at the Five Below, the store that's a few stores away from the PetSmart. So when Cecilia was leaving out, her and her daughter, she opened the door for the 20-year-old female. And again, the female did not say thank you. So they got into a back and forth altercation. It was a verbal altercation. They got into it. And then Cecilia decided, and her daughter decided to leave that store because it was getting out of hand. As they left that store, the 20-year-old that they got into it with followed her and her daughter to PetSmart. They went to PetSmart. They got into another verbal altercation. The manager at the PetSmart told them to leave. Both of them need to leave the store. Two of them, well, three of them went out of the store. They got into another verbal altercation, and then it became physical. Once it became physical, the young lady, the 20-year-old, decided to go to her vehicle and get out her gun, and she shot Miss Cecilia several times. And that's basically what happened. Hey Carl, hey boss man. So that I'm just kind of telling you what's going on. This is a different world from where we come from. MFers wasn't raised right. Don't care. Two ladies' lives changed that quickly. Right, Big Red. And it's unfortunate that first of all, I'm just gonna be honest with you. I work in the school system. Some of you guys know this. And I work at a middle school. A lot of the young people, they're very rude. That's number one. A lot of them have not been raised right, and if they have been raised right, they lose their senses when they come to school or go other places. It's almost like they've never been raised. They're very rude. They're not really aware, like social awareness. They don't have any manners. Say for instance, one day I was standing and a female student bypassed me. She bypassed me, but she was so close up to me, she ended up kind of bumping me. Not really hard, but she still bumped me. And I said, "Excuse me, you're not gonna say excuse me, you just bumped me." "I didn't bump you." I said, "Ma'am, do you think I'm gonna sit up here and lie about you bumping me?" I said, "You need to say excuse me, whether you say felt it or not. I felt it." And so I was about to go off on the, because she big enough for as like a woman, but she the assistant principal, went to her and said, "No, you need to say excuse me anytime that you walk in front of someone or you slightly bump someone, you need to say excuse me." And so she was like, "Excuse me." But it was just kind of like, why would a person have to tell you that? If you get close enough to a person, even if it's a light bump, why wouldn't you say excuse? Those are the things that our young people in this day and time are not being taught, like just the simple manners. And when I was growing up, I had to say please and thank you when I entered the room, whether I knew the people or not. I had to speak and learn how to, because I was taught that when I'm entering a room, whether it's at with my family or wherever, to speak, to people, to be courteous, open doors, or somebody's behind you, don't just slam the door in their face. Those are the simple things that we used to be, I know in my day, used to be taught by our parents and our grandparents and our aunties and our uncles. And unfortunately now, children now are just doing whatever. They have no sense of social awareness. They have no manners. They have no respect for anything or anyone. It's just live and let live. And I don't care what I do as long as it don't affect me. And that's just really sad. But this young lady was old enough to know better. She was 20 years old and she didn't even have enough common sense or any self-control just because she got into a disagreement with somebody to go and the first thing for her to do is to go and get her weapon. Like that's just ridiculous. And she followed the woman to PetSmart. So they had already left Five and Below. So she followed the woman all the way from Five and Below to another store when she should have just went on about her way. But instead, she wanted to prove a point to herself and to other people that she was big and bad. And she decided to follow this woman and her daughter to PetSmart because they got into an altercation. And this is what I'm saying to you. People have no regards for no human life sometimes. I believe this world is getting worse and worse. I'm not going to tell you, oh, this world is getting better. It's going to get better. It's not going to get better. It's going to get worse and worse. Why? Because people are losing they're losing self-control. They're losing their minds. They're losing morals, like, and now you're having people to just go around and do what they want to do just because they feel like it. You know what I'm saying? So it's just really senseless. And not too many people will cover this because it's no beef or anything, but this just goes to show you the state of where people are in this day in life. And now, like Angelo said, you have two people that their lives are changed forever. This woman has the daughter has lost her mother. The mother has lost her child. She had more than one kid. Miss Cecilia Simpson had more than one child. So they've lost their mother. Somebody lost their sister. Now this young lady has lost her life. This is the 20-year-old. She will probably never be free. Most of her adult life, her young life and adult life will be spent in prison because of one little problem, one little altercation. Thank you so much, Cutting Edge. one little altercation that didn't even have to go that far. She didn't even have to follow that lady to PetSmart. They had already got into it. Why is you following this lady? But this is why I say it's so many people that are demonic and they're unhinged. That's why. And they do this because it's in them. It's just in their heart and in their mind. Just something has taken over them. And that's why you have to be careful and why you shouldn't be threatening people, because you don't know. It's some people they're gonna take you up on it. And they're gonna really show you how crazy they really are. Because you may think you crazy, but there's somebody crazier than you. So let me keep playing. Because I just really thought this was sad.
Chase into the store and ultimately a deadly shooting in the parking lot. Fox 4's Vanya Castillo sat down with the victims' loved ones today and joins us live tonight with their story. Hi, Vanya.
Hi, Casey. Yeah, a senseless tragedy. That's what the mother of the woman who was killed earlier this week is calling her daughter's death after she was killed over the lack of a thank you.
It's like a bad dream that I can never wake up from.
Leslie Wickware was waiting for her daughter, 41-year-old Cecilia Simpson, affectionately known to her family as Cece, to come and visit her.
But that never happened. It's a hard, difficult, sad thing.
According to a police affidavit, she had opened the door for 22-year-old Kiana Hampton. And when Hampton didn't say thank you, Simpson called her out. It led to an argument between the two women. Simpson entered the PetSmart and told employees she was being followed.
My mom.
And see, I'm going to say this. I have to watch it too, because I be getting with these folks. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, Russell. I be getting with, hey, Cutting Edge, hey, Drip. I be getting with these people too, because a lot of the times I have corrected people, and this is even a lesson for me, because when I say every battle's not meant to be fought, it's true, because I'm preaching to myself. There's been some times where I've confronted people, be like, what the hell is you on? Like, but you don't know where people are mentally. That's what I keep saying, mentally and spiritually. Hey, El Boogie. And they will definitely, like I said, they are crazy. Like, you may just want to get into an argument, and you may understand it may lead to something physical like fighting, but people don't want to fight anymore. People want to take you out of here. They want to unalive you. They shoot to kill. They don't shoot to injure. They shoot to unalive you. So that's the difference in this day and time, especially with the younger generation. And I have been in situations where I have told kids, like at Walmart, and I think I've told you guys, hey CC, I think I told you guys this, probably, maybe if y'all guys remember. I was at Walmart, and it was these two girls. They looked like they were preteens, maybe 13, 14. So they knew better. They were playing with a ball. They were playing with it was kind of like one of those little light balls that the little kids play with. It was a plastic ball, and they were playing with it. And, it was a lot of people looking crazy, like, why is these big kids playing with this ball? But nobody said anything. And, the ball, as I was walking, I was trying to avoid it. And the ball almost hit me. Hey, dancer, the ball almost hit me. And I said, y'all need to stop playing in the store. I said, that's ridiculous. This is a store. This is not a playground, and I did say that. And I didn't really care what they mama would have said. If she was around, I would have told her the same thing. And actually I did. Her mother came around because they kept looking back at me, pointing, and their mom looked back or whatever. And she kind of mumbled, don't say nothing to my kids. I said, I'll say anything to your kids if they hit me with that ball, because it's going to be a problem. That's exactly what I said. And she was like, well, I don't need you saying nothing to my motherfucking kids. I said, well, keep your motherfucking kids at home, or teach them how to act when they come to the store, And so she just kind of looked at me crazy. And I had already had my weapon prepared just in case she tried anything. But anyway, that's why I really don't like going to Walmart, especially over here in the hood and stuff like that. If I do, I order online and let them bring it to my car because I don't really like being around a lot of ignorant people that don't know how to act. And so a lot of the times when we go to these places, we have to remember that a lot of these people have not been raised right. A lot of people don't have any self-awareness. They don't have any social awareness. They don't have any common sense or any type of manners to know what is right and what is wrong, what's appropriate, what's not appropriate. So when you're dealing with a society of people that may be like that, you have to kind of I would say make sure that you understand that and hold yourself accordingly. Like, say for instance, if I know I don't want to be around a whole bunch of ignorant folks, especially the first of the month, and people cashing their checks and stuff like that and getting their food stamps, I would go early in the morning or I order online because I'm avoiding some of the altercations or conflicts that I might come in contact with. Now, you can't always avoid conflict because it's inevitable, right? Anytime you are living around people or it's conflict is inevitable. You can't run from it all the time, but you also have to get it in your mind that there is maybe a time where there may be a situation. How do I handle this? How do I talk to a person? Do I walk away? Some things I had to learn to walk away because I was the kind of a person I didn't walk away. And that's not a good thing to do because you're living with around people that are extremely crazy and any little thing can set them off. So I even had to kind of learn to be like, you know what? Is this worth really dealing with today? Is this worth really going back and forth with the person? And a lot of times it's not. It's just the fact that you have an ego, that person has an ego, and y'all trying to prove who's better, basically. And so when you understand that, okay, it's just some things I just have to walk away from. It's just some things I'm just going to avoid it because I understand it can maybe get me out of my body and it can cause a situation to where either I harm someone or they harm me. So you have to start thinking about things like that. Hey SJ. Hey CC. Oh, I had a great day. I'm off for the whole week. We're on fall break, so I'm great. You said, yeah, so thank you so much. But you understand that when you're dealing with people, understand that everything is not worth fighting for. Even when you're online, like there's some people that I will not engage with, not whatsoever. Why? Because it's absolutely pointless. All you're going to be doing is cussing them out, them cussing you out. There's not going to be a resolution. And I'm the type of person at this point in my life, we don't need a kumbaya. I don't need to have a resolution with you. You just need to go on about your way and be gone. We don't need to talk about it because there's nothing about you that I would want to have a relationship or rebuild or, or reconcile with. So, hey, SBK, so when you understand that, you move accordingly. I don't need to have no conversation with you. We don't even need to cuss each other out. It's pointless at this point. I don't F with you. You don't F with me. Keep it moving. Go on about your way. You understand? So that's exactly when we're dealing with people that we see face to face and we get into these confrontations and these conflicts with people. We got to know what's worth it, what's not worth it. And people that I don't know, people that I don't care about, they're not worth it. So we have to, some things in life, we got to count the cost. And another thing, I don't get in other people's BS. When it comes to some people feeling a way about different people, that's your beef. That's not mine. That's what you need to handle. I don't need to handle that. That's your issue. Hey, Smitty. So you understand that. And when you understand that, you move accordingly. You move with wisdom. So that's how I'm keeping myself from getting in the way on a lot of things, because I understand that people are crazy and they will try to pull you into things that you don't even need to be involved in. And sometimes even with people that don't know you, just people, they have a miserable life, they're unhinged, a lot of things in their life is not going the way they want it to go, and they'll try to have a conflict or have a problem with you because their life is miserable. You see people at the store like that. You go to the store, minding your business. You may be in a decent mood, thinking about, oh, what you're gonna do over the weekend, what you're gonna do over the week, and then somebody will come and just bump you, and then act like they didn't with a basket or something. You're like, uh, excuse me, you just hit me. Okay, what do you mean? Okay, you just hit me. I mean, you're not gonna say, excuse me, I'm sorry. No, and then there you go. You know what I'm saying? There you have an altercation. How would I have handled that? Maybe I ain't gonna so I'm gonna just say a couple of months ago, maybe not so good. Okay. I'm just gonna be honest with you. Now with all this stuff that's going on, and because I don't want to go to jail or I don't want to be unalive, now I just I try not to even be around a lot of people sometimes. And when I go places, I make sure I'm with people that I trust and I know. Because I just people are too irate right now, and I don't know what's going on with a lot of people's mentals situation, but a lot of people are really just they have a chip on their shoulder. And I don't know if you guys noticed that. Hey, CX, I don't know if you guys noticed that, but a lot of people seem like they're really unhinged. A lot of people are really seem like they're really just mad at the world, and they take it out on other people. So now this situation with this 22-year-old, she was probably already mad before she came and even had an interaction with Miss Cecilia. And when she had the interaction with Miss Cecilia, instead of her just going, saying what she needed to say and walking away and going on about her business, she decided to follow this lady. So this was something she meant to do. This was not something, this wasn't an accident. So this is really going to count against her, because when she could have just walked away after they got into the verbal altercation at 5 and below, she could have just left it up at that and been like, be and keep it moving. But no, she follows this lady all the way to another store. And this store is like, I'm going to say, how many stores is between that? I think it's like 5 or 6 stores between 5 and below in PetSmart. Because again, this is like 5 minutes away from me. So I'm just like, I could have been there that day, but thank God I wasn't. Like I said, it was at 1 p.m. on last Tuesday, that this happened. So, like I said, these people are crazy out here, and that is exactly why I really move the way I move, because I understand my temper. And like I said, it's some people out here real crazy, like crazier than me, that just anything you do, they ready to unalive you.
Bigger person, she walked away multiple times.
The affidavits followed.
So Cecilia walked away multiple times.
She walked away multiple times.
Cecilia walked away multiple times. That's why she left 5 and below, and her daughter went to PetSmart. Let me see.
The affidavit says that Kiana Hampton admitted to following Simpson into PetSmart, throwing a bottle at her car as she was trying to leave, and getting into a fight before eventually shooting her in the parking lot.
Yeah, so the lady, when she did leave, she went to PetSmart. They left. The manager told her to leave, told both of them to leave. She gets into her car, Cecilia and her daughter get into their car, and this other 22-year-old decided that she was going to throw a bottle at their vehicle. Now, if that ain't something, I don't know what to tell you. That is fight. That's fight time. I'm sorry. And see, it's unfortunate. But I feel what Cecilia would. I understand why she probably got out and wanted to beat this girl up. Because first of all, why is you throwing something at my vehicle, ma'am? Why? But the smart thing to do after she did that was to drive away and call the police. That would have been the smartest thing to do, right? But unfortunately, just like how I would think at first, my first thought would be to get out and, try to fight. And see, guess where that led her? That led her in a situation to where she's no longer here. So we have to think a little bit beyond our emotions at the time. And that goes for men and women. Child, preteen, teen. We gotta think beyond our emotions because our emotions will get us in a lot of trouble. A lot of trouble. And sometimes our trouble can cause us our life. Just like Cecilia. Instead of her driving off and then calling the police and reporting it, she decides, I'm gonna get out of my car and I'm gonna whip this hoe's ass. And I can just imagine. Yeah, that's what she's probably thinking. Forgive me, I don't mean to be vulgar. But that's probably what she was thinking, right? Because this was uncalled for. Why did you have to even throw anything at my car? See, and this is where just one choice can cause us our life if we make the wrong choice, right? We can say, well, we would have just drove off, but most of us would have did like what Cecilia did. We would have got out of our car and be ready to fight. So that's why I don't judge, people on a lot of stuff, because I understand at the time, that moment, you're not always thinking logical. Sometimes you just think emotional about getting back and getting revenge, and that can cause you to be, in the grave. So there is some choices that we make out of our emotions rather than logic, and it is what it is.
Never forget my granddaughter calling me, telling me that her mother I would never forget those screams. I would never. The screams when she was calling me, telling me that her mother got shot, the screams in the emergency room when the doctor told us she didn't make it.
Simpson's 16-year-old son says he doesn't sleep much anymore because instead of dreams, he's plagued by one unanswered question after another.
What was she thinking? What was going through her mind? Why did she have to follow my mom? What provoked?
I can tell you what she was thinking. She was thinking out of hate. First of all, a lot of this generation, they don't want you telling them nothing. I'm a millennial, and we, as millennials, we, teenagers are teenagers. But in this generation, they don't want you telling them nothing. Why? I know. I work in the school. I know how these kids act. There is some good kids, but they're few and far in between. And I'm just going to be honest with you. There is some good kids. But for the most part, it's a lot of kids that are not good kids. They act up at school. They act up when they go places. And this is just in middle school. So imagine these middle schoolers growing up, going to high school, getting in their 20s, and they're acting the same way that they act in middle school. We are in some trouble, people. And if you are not, and I know a lot of times kids act different when they go to school, or they act different when they ain't around their parents. But people really, you need to really stop worrying about how your child looks in tennis shoes and what you buy, on their outside. You need to really make sure that you're pouring into your children and showing them how to act and showing them what manners really are. Because a lot of these kids have no type of regard for nobody. Most of these kids are really selfish. They're self-centered. They really don't care about nothing. They're very disrespectful, very rebellious. And really, sometimes they kind of overshadow the really good kids. Because in class, I know for me, you so busy trying to correct bad behavior, you can't even sometimes applaud the kids that actually do right. But this generation is a very rebellious generation, a generation that has just no regard for nobody. And that's why, when you see these 20-year-olds, and, like I said, we've all been, some of us have all been young. We have, been through middle school, high school, in our early 20s and stuff. So we understand, what being a kid is and all this. Our minds are still undeveloped at that time. So I get it. But some of these kids, even with their mind underdeveloped, they still have no regard for any human being, and they really have no respect for adults in that are have authority over them. They don't have respect with their parents. They don't have respect for the teachers. It used to be that they would have respect for clergymen, or respect for the police. These kids are some of these kids now, they're just crazy. And like I said, there is some good kids, but they're few and far in between. And you hear more about the bad than you do the good. And I'm just gonna be honest with you. So, like I said, some parents are not really instilling in their children really how to act, because they're so busy smoking weed and partying, having a party and twerking and buying a weed and buying a weave and buying the new shoes out there and making sure they got the cool, having a nice whip and all this kind of stuff. They so into materialistic things. They're not teaching their children really what it means just to be a decent person, you know. And it used to be, it was a village that raised, that would raise children. Now it's so many kids in the foster system, they just thrown out there trying to figure things out. So some kids may be good kids, but they're not guided because they don't have nobody in their life. Their parents on drugs, they in prison. And then these same kids, some of them may end up good, but some of them end up being just like their parents, criminals, you know people that, so we are really dealing with a generation that's lost in a lot of different ways. Hey Fatty, hey Chris, how are you? you know and I don't mean to, like I say, I don't mean to be rude or anything, but I deal with children and I understand when teachers say that it's difficult. It's a high turnover in education because a lot of these kids are so disrespectful, you don't even want to deal with them. And really, I'm going to be honest with you. The I really believe that, if you can find something else, that's why a lot of people are getting out of education, because the kids are so unruly, like you don't even want to be bothered. And the girls, they're a lot worse than the boys. Can you believe it? Hey Blaze, can you believe? No, the 22-year-old didn't pass, Fatty. It was the 41-year-old. The 22-year-old unalived the 41-year-old, because the 41-year-old was getting on to her and confronted her because she said she opened the door for the 22-year-old, and the 22-year-old didn't say thank you. So they got into an altercation. The 41-year-old and her daughter left, and the 22-year-old followed her into another store in PetSmart. And then once they were kicked out of PetSmart, the 41-year-old and her daughter got into in their vehicle, and the 22-year-old threw a bottle at their car. So Miss Cecilia, the 41-year-old, got out of her car. They ended up getting into a fight, and then the 22-year-old went to her car to get her gun, and she unalived the 41-year-old. That's what happened. Because I thought it was actually the other way around, and I was wrong. So that's why I'm glad that I looked at it, because I thought it was a 22-year-old that got unalive, but it was actually the 41-year-old. So, and she probably was like I would have did. Excuse me, you not gonna say excuse me? I'm like, that's rude. That would be my initial thought. To be honest with you, but you can't say that to people now. Like I said, these folks are on a different level of crazy. They're not like they just crazy now. It's just not the same. Maybe 20 years ago, 10 to 20 years ago, crazy was not that bad. But crazy now, it's extreme. It's really extreme compared to 10 years ago, even 5 years ago. Have y'all noticed after the C-19 things with people, mental has gotten worse? Or is it just me?
Her to continue to engage with my mom? What drove her to do that?
Hampton has been charged with murder.
And see, this is what I'm saying about beating a dead horse. Some people don't know when to stop. A lot of the times when you need to walk away, you sitting up here, keep going off badgering and a person when you just need to walk away. You done said what you need to say. What more is there to do? Now, unless you're going to put your hands on a person, y'all going to fight or whatever. What more do you need to say? And see, this is why I can't stand when people beat a dead horse. That irritates me. Say what the hell you need to say and move on. But people cannot do that in this day and time. And this is why we have situations like this, because people don't know when to walk off. Okay. You had the chance to go on about your life. This woman could have stayed alive. You could have been on your way, doing what you do best, smoking weed, having a baby, working, whatever you did. And both of y'all could have went on about your life. But oh no, she had to go and she had to keep poking the bear. And this is what I'm saying. Sometimes you got to know there are some battles that is not meant for you to fight. There are some battles you just need to be like, you know what? You got it. You got it. I said what I had to say. You got it.
In the case, she had previously been arrested for assaulting a family member.
It's crazy, because one day you wake up with your mom next to your side, and the next day it's quiet. You can't see her no more.
Simpson's family wants her to be remembered for more than just the way her life ended.
Outside of this horrible tragedy, she was a person who has kids and a family who loves her and will miss her.
It was all love. She showed her love in many ways. Even if you didn't take it, she showed her love.
Well, Simpson's daughter was with her when the attack happened, and her family is trying to raise enough money to make sure she gets the mental health support she needs, and also that her brother and her are taken care of. Back to you, Casey.
My heart goes out to her loved ones, her kids. This was so sad and unfortunate, and it was so unwarranted. But this is what I'm telling you. Some people just don't know when to stop. Okay? They just don't know when to stop. And that's why, godless. That's why I say, whether or not some people believe in God or believe in any type of religious based things or whatever, I don't understand it. But if I just don't understand, how can I say this? I'm just gonna be honest. I don't see how people not realize that there is a God, because there's something in us that wasn't put automatically. Like it just wasn't, it's not a part of us. Like there's something in us that gives us shame. There's something in us that gives us some type of unction that something is right or wrong. We might be going the wrong way, but it's something in us that is letting us know we're going down the wrong path. And this is how when people ignore that voice or ignore that feeling, to me, that's just like you're ignoring the senses that God gave each and every human being. And a lot of the times, the stuff that we get so wrapped up and get so emotional and get so upset about is some things that we can simply just say, you know what, it's not worth it. This battle is not worth the fight. Some things it's just not worth the fight. Period. You can say what you need to say, and I'm getting to the point sometimes, just depending, because sometimes I don't even go back and forth with people, especially if I'm at a store or something like that. I just look at them like they crazy. I'm like, as long as you don't put your hands on me, you can say whatever you want to. I mean, I can't stop you from that. And but just don't put your hands on me. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of stuff is just like I don't need to prove anything to anybody. But if you touch me, then it's on and popping. But I don't need to prove to myself or anybody else that I won't defend myself. So I don't know. It's just some things I think the society in this day and in this day and time Like we ignore that little voice in the back of our, in the back of our mind, or we ignore that feeling, that gut feeling that we have sometimes when we know it's just time to let things go. You know what I'm saying? It's time to let things go. And you're right, Fatty. A lot of people are not wrapped too tight. And that's why I say you cannot argue with everyone, because there is some people that are not wrapped too tight, like this young lady. Something mentally and spiritually was going on with this young lady for her to think that this was the only option, that she had to go and follow this woman. You already was rude as hell, even though I felt like too, if you're going to do something for a person, like open the door for a person and they don't say thank you, just, hey, it is what it is. Do it because it's the right thing to do, if that's what you choose to do. I personally let people walk ahead of me and open their own door. You know what I'm saying? Like, say, for instance, if there is somebody walking you know, walking behind me, well, no, walking in front of me. I'll say that. I've done this. Like walking in front of me, I let people go and I just kind of, stand back and let them go in. I don't expect them to open the door for me. But if they do open the door for me, I always say thank you. And even if there's someone close behind me, if they're close behind me, I'm not going to be rude and just shut it in their face. I'm going to open the door. If they don't say thank you, which most of the time they don't, I don't say anything. I just try. I just, it is what it is. It's some people, they're not going to be gracious. They're not going to be nice, and that's just the way it is. And sometimes I'll let a person go before me because I'm like, I ain't trying to, because I don't want no problems, because I'm real fast with my mouth, so, and hands. So I really don't want no problems. I just try to stay in my own lane and leave people alone. So I always say, if I can avoid situations, I avoid situations if as much as possible. And I don't expect, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't expect people to be mean to me, but I do understand there is a percentage that if I do something nice, make sure I just do it just because it's the right thing to do, not to think I'm going to get something back from it. So if I'm opening the door for you and you don't say, and you're not polite and you don't say thank you, I just go, okay, whatever. I'm not going to get into an altercation. I'm not going to get into an argument with this person or get into a fight with this person because that person didn't say thank you. Because 9 times out of 10, they might not say thank you. You know what I'm saying? So those are things you have to consider when you're dealing with people. You're gonna run into people that have no courtesy for anybody. And that's just the way it is. You can't change those people. The only thing you can do is do what you know is right. And if you don't want to be courteous, hey, just don't be courteous. Just let the door slam in their face. I mean, it is what it is. I just learned to just try my best to just not take everything so personal. And that takes work. It takes you being conscious of, your decisions and things like that. So I understand that I can't take everything personal. Even if I want to take it personal, just go ahead and get it out of my mind because it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, I will try to treat a person like I want to be treated. I was going into Dillard's and I seen three black women and a man. I'm assuming the man was with them because they had a baby in the back. They had a baby in the stroller. And so since we were about to come in at the same time, I opened the door and let them out first instead of opening the door and just going in the door. Because first of all, that was rude and it made sense to me, regardless if they say thank you or not. That is avoiding confrontation. I couldn't go through the other door. So I just went ahead and just opened the door and they did. They all were courteous. They all were courteous and said thank you. I let them out, then I went in. See, a lot of times we can avoid confrontations if we are being, sometimes being courteous or thinking right. Because if I was thinking, like some people, I've been in situations where some people were rushing the door when they see me coming out. I'm like, what the hell is wrong with you? You know what I'm saying? Like I at least pause to see what this person is gonna do. The person will just come on in, like forget you, you know. But that's just how some folks are. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, it's just I'm gonna let you just be great because you got some problems. So yeah, some things now I know since I'm older, like in my 20s, I was a little hothead and I would let a person know, just like Miss Cecilia, what time it was, and I still can be like that. But I know that there is sometimes that I'm getting to the point where I'm like, yeah, it's not that serious. You know what I'm saying? You gotta understand some things is just like, okay, yeah, or whatever, because you got stuff to do. A lot of times when people make us mad and make us get out of our body, it just messes up our whole day. I don't know if you've ever been in situations where you got so upset with somebody, cuss somebody out, gave them the bird 2 times, and you just gave them, and you just went off. And then after that, your whole day has been messed up. You become irritated at everything. Everybody's getting on your nerves. So I just said, you know what? There's just some things I'm just like, I will not, you know. And that's why on social media, I I'm telling you, in social media, I'm like, 2 middle fingers to you. I don't care about you or what you got going on. You do not exist to me, just like I don't exist to you. Bye. Okay. Don't know you, never knew you, and glad I don't. Okay. So now I can do that, but before I was very irritable. So now when I understand that people that get you irritable, that try to get you out of your body, they're actually controlling you. So you have to know when to just be like, you know what? Let me take a break. That's why a lot of times you won't see me on here, because it's some stuff. It's like I got to deal with real life. Let me get my real life where I want it to be. Let me enjoy my real life. Let me start being more grateful and thankful for what I have, and not worry about nothing as people that don't care anything about me or anything else, and I don't care nothing about them, right? So we understand that and we learn to move accordingly, but that comes with maturity. And a lot of people that may think they're mature, and I would say it's nothing worse than anybody that works with kids, and then they come on the internet and they act as if they don't have no type of sense. When you working with kids and you come on the internet and you act like you don't have any morals yourself, you have no business teaching kids how to be any kind of way. That's why when I come on here, I want to make sure that I keep myself in line, because just like I be talking to these kids, I have to hold myself accountable, right? I can't come on here cussing people out, causing mess, being disrespectful to people that I don't know, and then being a mentor or being over kids, right? But it's some people that do that, and I say it's a shame. And if the school district or anybody from your school could see how you really act online and then try to go and teach kids how to act, baby, you would probably lose your job. So that's why I say I try to be, for the most part, the example of what I'm teaching these young kids that I deal with every day. I was telling a young lady, because she got them hands on her too. And she got with a girl. This girl was about almost 6 foot. She told that girl up. The girl was about my height. She told that girl up. And I was telling her, okay, so and so, I said, we gotta start thinking with our mind. I said, you think a lot with your emotions. I understand she makes you upset, but as long as she didn't put her hands on you, you could have thought about a different way to approach it. And she said, yeah, I know. Thank you so much, Cece. She said, yeah, Miss Selena, I know it's just, I did get angry. I said, yeah, we talked about it. We talked about self-control and the choices that we make, and the same lessons that I had tell her, I'm having to use it myself. I'm having to deal with it myself. There's so many times I have to use self-control because I be ready to go off. So there's things that when you're teaching kids, you need to make sure that you're also learning to be a decent person yourself and not coming on here being messy and vindictive and just crazy when you dealing with kids. But when you dealing with kids, you tell them how to act. But if they could just see how you really are, like you're just a hypocrite and doing a disservice to the kids that you're telling them to act right to. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to be one of those people. Thank you so much, CC. If I could get 3 more super chats, I would really appreciate it. I'm trying to reach my goal. I would really appreciate it. Let's see. Thank you so much, Cutting Edge. What did Russell say? I didn't get this read. He says, how you doing, baby mama? I sure miss your content. YouTube, glad to hear you back. Oh, thank you so much. Good night, Russell. Yeah, I'd be taking my breaks, honey, and I enjoy it. A lot of times y'all don't realize I enjoy not being on YouTube sometimes. I mean, I'm gonna be very honest with you. I enjoy engaging with you guys, but it takes a lot for me to just like I don't want to make my live stream so uninteresting to you guys where it's boring. But then at the same time, I'm not gonna get into the beef. I'm not gonna get into straddling the fence. Because when you straddle the fence, people say, well, I thought she was trying to get out the beef, and you could just be trying to interview people about, the topic that what's going on. And people think you're trying to get into the beef, and then they start reviewing your content. So I said, you know what? I can't straddle the fence anymore. I got to just stay on the path that is right for me, regardless if I have 5 people in the chat, 2 people in the chat, people that rock with me, people that used to rock, whatever. I just got to be true to me and stay on the path that I want. And hopefully, I will get the right people that will want to hear what I have to say. And I'm going to be working on really doing some uploads, because there is going to be some times that I will not be able to go live because I'm so focused in on my personal life. And like I said, most of you guys know I work full time as an educator. I'm in school full time, and then I have to get my personal life in there, so I'm always busy. So a lot of times I'm just fitting YouTube in, but I don't want to give you stuff that y'all be like, oh God, this is so freaking boring, because I know when I hear certain things, I'm just, certain content, some people, I'm like, that is, kind of boring a little bit. But I don't want to be like that. So that's why I always say, give me some ideas. And if I ain't got nothing, hey Robert, if I ain't got nothing to say, I'm not gonna go live, because a lot of the times, what's the point? I don't have nothing to say. Sometimes I just don't, you know. Yeah, thank you, Miss V. And shout out to you, Miss V. If you would like to put your link in the chat, go ahead and do that. Anybody that is a content creator and that you are a moderator, if you would like to put your link in the chat, you're more than welcome. I would really appreciate that. And I wish there was a way that I can find out how to get people to be able to come on like the vertical live. You said, okay. Thank you, Russell. So I got 2 more I got to get to. You said I ain't got to straddle the fence. You down with me and my baby mama. Damn anybody else. I rock with you like you rocking with me. You're crazy, Russell. Yes, indeed. Well, Russell, you seem to be getting your name up and stuff. What's going on, Russell? Oh Lord, by H-Town little bot. Boy, Russell be in these streets, boy. I'm like, Russell not even a content creator. What Russell do? Poor Russell. You say you tired. Thought you gone to sleep, Russell. But that's basically all I had to say. I wish they had it to where I could actually have you guys come up. I just don't know how to do it. I don't know how to do it on here. And then when I tried to share this the last time, it ended up ending the live stream. It was something else I wanted to show you guys. I don't know if y'all seen this. But I was just like, I wonder had these people seen this, where this lady in Houston with her big butt, she sit up there and killed two of her children, two of her four children. And I wanted to know if you guys seen this. Let's see if I can find it. Because I said, oh my God, these people are really nuts. So it's a lot of unhinged people out here. And they just doing stuff. Let me see. Yeah, she has 4 kids. Let me see if I could show this to y'all. Because I said, what the hell is wrong with this lady? So let me see if I can share this with y'all. Because I said, what the hell? Thank you so much, Miss V. I appreciate y'all helping me get to my goal. Shout out to Miss V. Okay. Yeah, this lady was crazy too. Let me show y'all this. And
still unaccounted for. The Montgomery County Sheriff's Office searched Romulus's home in Porter looking for that child.
Okay, Miss Romulus is accused of shooting and unaliving her 13-year-old son and 3-year-old daughter, right? Her 2 other children, age 8 and 9, survived the shooting. Romulus appeared in reality TV show more than a decade ago to determine the paternity of her son, who she's now accused of killing. So I don't know if you guys watched Paternity Court back in the day. But she was on, I don't remember it because I used to watch Judge Mathis, but I never really watched the Paternity Court. But she was on there, and she had 2 men that she thought could have been the child's father. Neither one of those men found out, neither one of them were the father of the child. And so that happened. That was her first appearance. Then all of a sudden she ended up getting into being a tax, one of those people that have these tax stores where they, do taxes for people, a tax preparer. And she started making a lot of money. And then she started doing content creation as well. So she was I think on YouTube or some TikTok or something she was doing. So she started making a lot of money, and I'm just play this a little bit more. Thank you, Russell.
The kids found shot inside a car in Angleton on Saturday are his grandchildren. One of them is 3-year-old Amari Chappelle, who lost her life. What was your reaction when you heard about her death?
I started crying immediately. That's my grandbaby.
Chappelle tells me an 8-year-old boy is also his grandchild. That boy is in the hospital.
Romulus lived at this home in Porter for just a few months with her 4 children.
Just seeing them Friday, and they were happy and on their way, telling us hi and bye, and figuring I would see him again Monday.
Meddy had not interacted with her at all. Residents are feeling uneasy.
My world trying to water me down. You don't need this. You need to wait. Whole time you waiting on nothing.
Before we dive into the background of what led up to this tragedy, there's been a major development. When authorities showed up at the suspect's home to serve a search warrant, what they found was shocking. Documents that shed new light on the case and the suspect's financial situation. Let's get into that first, and then we'll talk about the family's response to the claim about a fifth child. So listen to this.
England, no español.
I put $700. I got $4,800 in my purse. I got $4,800 in my
Come on,
purse.
Florida, Florida, what you smiling for?
No, yeah, come on. Hey, hey. So, they put something on cake. Put my money up. Look, I got the blue.
Put that $140.
Help.
So this woman has all this money and she's doing all of this, and this really goes back to, the love of money. It's not, people that have money, that's not the problem. It's the love of money is the root of all evil. And a lot of people, they gain the whole world just to lose their soul. And it's just like, this woman here has all the money in the world. She shows she lives an elaborate lifestyle. She's buying her children shoes, buying them all the type of outfits, doing big parties and things for them. But she is a psycho. So she's doing all of this and she's still a psycho. This woman is extremely nuts. Let me see what else, because I got to fast forward through some of this. And she a big one.
The investigation that Montgomery County now has on their hands is because when they came here looking for this child, when they got inside, what they found is what can only be described as an identity theft operation.
He's coming to Romulus's home Saturday morning, looking for the oldest child, a 17-year-old, who wasn't inside. Instead, when deputies broke down the front door, they came across what they described as an identity theft operation, something believed to be connected to another crime. In total, detectives finding 33 Social Security cards, 48 ID cards.
So she's scamming people. That's how she got all that money. Because I'm like, now she done went from paternity court, and all of a sudden she started making all this money. She done got new hair, got a new body. She's just doing it, showing she had $4,800 in a purse. And you should have saw her closet. I wonder if they're going to show this on this particular one. But this lady was living it up and still crazy and still unhappy. And this is why I say a lot of people, I don't care how good they seem like they got it. It's some people that really have some mental illness going on. And they have a lot of demons inside of them. What would make you turn around and try to unalive every child that you brought into this world? What would make you do that? You would think she has it all together. You would think that everything is great in her world. She's living it up. And this woman is a freaking psycho, a sociopath.
In 16 credit cards, some having Romulus's name, others with different names in her photo. Many were in various stages of being made.
For many, when news broke about the fraudulent documents and other things being found in the suspect's home.
And this is under Fair Use YouTube. It says Shantira. I can't pronounce it. Shantira Speaks. I think it's Shantira Street Speaks. She is doing commentary on this young lady, Miss Romulus, who is Haitian descent. And this is, she kind of goes in depth with it.
A lot of her friends were genuinely shocked by the allegations. They described her as not only an aspiring rapper, but also an entrepreneur and a legitimate tax preparer, someone who seemed to have her hands in a little bit of everything. So right now, many of her friends say that they are still waiting for more information to come out, because since she was a legitimate tax preparer, from their perspective, she may have had a reason to have the documents in the home. But that's all according to her friends. But here's where it gets interesting. Back in 2024, the same suspect had actually called out another tax preparer online, claiming she was working to fix what that person had messed up. And in part of that post, she accused the woman of being a fraudulent tax preparer who misused clients' information, withheld tax returns, and
see, you better watch when you go to these tax places and they have these different people in here in their places. You better watch it, because they could be using your information and getting money from it. You just never know. Using your social security, your birthday and things of that nature. So be very careful when you go to these tax preparers and make sure it is someone that is legit, because I don't care what nobody say. I think this woman was doing some scamming, to be honest with you. But so that's why I said people really need to be careful when they go to these different tax places. If it's not someone that you know, or it's not a reputable company, be very careful.
Caused major financial losses. She even claimed that she was stepping in to make things right. And in part, she wrote that the tax preparer couldn't calculate the funds and that she was stepping in to help, and that she herself was owed over $80,000 for prep fees she has taken and miscalculated. Now, that was according to...
If y'all ever see my eyelashes like that, please let me know. Oh my gosh, she's gonna fly away with those.
To a post that the suspect made on August the 23rd of 2024, which her friends are saying that she was not the type that would have indulged in fraudulent activity. Now, listen to the remaining.
And I'm pretty sure they didn't think she would be unalive her own children either.
News clip regarding her family's reaction to the fifth child and what authorities finally said.
Romelis's family here, as I said, they've been here for the past couple of days. Obviously, still very much so trying to process this whole situation. This is not a normal situation by any stretch of the imagination. So if you can imagine family members, they were emotional, not wanting to speak on camera at this time, respecting that sort of privacy, if you will. But they did share this, that they're shocked. They have no idea what happened, and the two children that lost their lives in this incident, they described them as being the sweetest, nicest, and most innocent kids.
Also allegedly told investigators that she didn't call 911, that in fact she called, quote, the devil. And when asked why she called, Ramos allegedly answered, instead of them doing it to me, I'm going to do it to them.
Everybody want to blame the devil. You blame yourself. You did that. You did that. The devil didn't take your, he may took your mind, but he didn't give you the gun and tell you to do that. I mean, he didn't make you do that. You did that. A lot of people wanted to feel to blame somebody when they need to blame themselves. What would make her say, I'm going to do it to them, before they do it to me? What is she talking about? Is she really that insane, or is she trying to make people feel like she's really insane?
Kill them all. As for that initial belief, there was a fifth child. A source tells me that turned out not to be the case.
Okay, so as you heard in the news clip, they were able to confirm with their sources that the suspect did not have a fifth child. Now, where that came from, authorities have not spoken out on it, but her friends did take to social media, and one of her friends.
And I'm sorry, but some of you men will sleep with anything. I just don't understand how she got 4 children, and it's just like, I don't understand why some of these men, they gotta be trash too, because I just don't understand this. 2 trash people. I don't want to come off judgmental, but it is what it is. Why y'all sit up there have babies with people that is just, oh my gosh, I just don't understand this. I guess, sometimes people just be in the heat of the moment, but look at what y'all putting y'all seed in. Somebody that's online looking like Miss Piggy, chocolate Miss Piggy, bouncing her ass online with 4 children. She needs to go sit down somewhere.
And said she reshared the article, and she said she only have 4 kids. They just need a reason to go back in her home, making up lies about a 17-year-old child. Now, also keep in mind that later in the video, I'm going to get more into a post from her friend regarding the allegation that her friend is making that the suspect should not be charged, that she was actually defending the kids against her son, which authorities have not confirmed. Now, where this originated from, it is this post here that her friend reshared. And in the post, she said, "Why isn't this article being discussed though?" And in the article, it says, according to the county sheriff's office, deputies were dispatched around 5 a.m. after a distressed woman called 911 reporting that her son had attempted to unalive her and that multiple children were in the vehicle with her. Now, this article was published from Channel 2 Now News. As far as where this information came from, authorities have not confirmed this. This seems to be an independent blog or news outlet, not affiliated with a major news outlet, but they're the ones that reported on this, which her friends have been resharing.
And we got to really stop this. If you see men, if y'all see a woman that looks like this with this makeup, the way it look at something's wrong with her. Something's wrong with her. And something is wrong with you if you would want to sleep with that. Anytime you sleep with someone, there's a chance that you could get her pregnant.
No, she ain't too far. Shut the fuck up. Oh, can you see? Because I feel like I'm walking on Mars.
You press play with a flick of the wrist. I don't do crowds on the main event. And I step on next with design intent. Run that play, we ain't got no brakes. Whole clear sharp like shit.
Oh, Lord. They're going to sit up there and gonna probably YouTube. Oof, Lord.
Arrived, deputies would uncover a chilling scene and immediately call for medical assistance. Court records indicate that security video showed this 31-year-old mother of four pulling up to a gas pump, talking on her phone as she got fuel, and then stand there until deputies arrived. Now, once deputies arrived, they uncovered the heartbreaking scene. They found her car still running, all four doors open. Now, court records would later reveal that this 31-year-old mother of four had covered her children with a white sheet before deputies arrived.
Doing first aid. We're doing everything we can.
Officers rushed to help the two surviving children, 9-year-old Kyle Romelius and 8-year-old Traviel Donner. Both were airlifted to Memorial Hermann Hospital fighting for their lives.
Now, as you just heard, tragically, two of her children, ages 13 and 3, lost their lives, and she has been taken into custody. Now, there are...
See, she learned that from mama. There's no way that your little 3-year-old, and this is one of the babies that passed, should be dancing like that. That's ridiculous.
2 other children, ages 8 and 9, and they are currently in stable condition after they were flown by a medical helicopter to a Houston area hospital. But I want you to pay attention to what the authorities said that she told them after she was arrested. And the reason why I want you to pay attention to this is because she has friends that have been defending her on social media, saying that the police have the wrong suspect in custody. So listen to this.
What? Well, hello, she asleep. She was at the beach all day in the pool.
Deputies arrived to a Shell gas station on Highway 288 in Angleton. Romelis had pulled over in her white sedan. If you happen to know exactly the location where the shooting took place?
Again, that is part of the ongoing investigation.
Told investigators, instead of them doing it to me, I'm going to do it to them. When asked, do what? She reportedly replied, kill them all. She also told investigators she didn't call 911. She called the devil. She told detectives her children were with the devil. She went on to tell them they're dead. When asked what she meant by what she said, she replied, you can't take me without me taking you. It's unclear what may have pushed her to this point.
Now, after...
Well, I would say she was demonic influence, but she made the choice. Hey, KPSSP, how are you? Good to see you. Hey, Waterman. So I personally think that yes, even though she was demonic influence, she did that herself. And like I said, someone said earlier in the chat, a lot of people are unhinged.
News broke about this tragedy and what the suspect had allegedly told investigators, social media users did react to it. One user said, "The devil is real. I've heard him talk to me before, and some of my darkest times in my life literally heard a man's voice in my ear in a completely empty room. I wasn't weak and fought back. It's real. Not everyone can beat it." Someone else replied to her and said, "Big facts, big facts. I have danced on the playground for quite a while years ago, and I have heard the talking to me and the speaking in tongues voice. Took me a long time to get back my life, and just like you, I made it. All praises to the mighty Father. We don't know each other, but I salute you for staying strong and not giving up." So this was the reactions.
So, like I said, most people don't believe in God, most people don't believe in the devil. And the greatest trick that the devil has ever did was to make people believe he does not exist. I don't know about y'all, but look around and see what's going on. There is a battle between good and evil. Hey DL, how are you? So hopefully you guys will be playing on the right side. And like I said, the earlier I was talking about how and not every battle is meant to be fought. It's very true. Not everything is meant for you to go back and forth, because like I said, some people are crazier than you think or crazier than you. So don't ever think that people you're gonna always meet a situation where it's gonna say you're gonna say what you're gonna say and it's gonna be over with. You got some crazy people just like that young lady that followed Miss Cicely to another location and antagonized her, kept poking the bear. You know what I'm saying? And she found out, you know what I'm saying? And it's unfortunate. My condolences is to her family, her friends, definitely to her children, even the young lady, her daughter that was with her. She will live with that forever. Hey, Forever, how are you? She will live with that forever, what happened to her and her mother. And I'm pretty sure she'll probably have some type of guilt, wishing that she could have, or, could have prevented it or stopped the situation from happening. But it's unfortunate that, even when you try to walk away, sometimes the devil will try to follow you. And that's exactly what happened. So, but you said most definitely they both exist. Thank God I made it out the street life. Right. What a man. Everybody don't make it out. So thank God. And, it's mighty funny. People want to try to prove God or Jesus' existence when they never try to prove Buddha. They never try to prove Confucius and all these other different prophets. But it's really funny. People really want to see what did God really exist, but they'll believe in a statue, which is interesting to me. But hey, to each his own. But yeah, that's the greatest trick of the devil, to prove to make everybody believe that he don't exist. That's a really great trick, because there's some people, they don't believe in God and they don't believe in the devil. And sometimes, when some of these people look in the mirror, they are the devil. So you just looking at yourself. So yeah, but anyway, love y'all guys, the Reese's to Pieces. I appreciate everybody that helped me reach my goal. Thank you so much. Now this week I'm off. I may go live a little bit more, or I might just keep taking my breaks. Just depends on how I feel. If I have something to talk about tomorrow, I might get on here. But honey, I just been chilling and just chilling and doing what I need to do. So I appreciate everybody. I hope everybody has a great Tuesday, a restful night tonight. And yeah, y'all remember, hey, everything ain't worth fighting for. I can tell you that. Every battle not meant for you to fight. And sometimes don't always go by what things seem to be. Like with the other story, everything looked good, every glitz and glam, but when it comes down to it, you could be dealing with a real psycho. And so and we see it every day. People seem like they got it all together, and they are the devil in disguise. So y'all guys be great, and I'll talk to you guys later. Hey Icy, bye.